Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Amuspat Paramahansa Paribhrajagacharya Sittareshwara Samad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavavrinda ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Mokh Gopinath Sam Khanda Radha Khanda Giri Govardhan ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai Ganga Mai ki Jai Jamuna Mai ki Jai Guru Dwarka Dham ki Jai Swami Bhaktivinoda ki Jai All glories to the Assembly All glories to the Assembly Thank you very much.
All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Prabhupada.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad bhavanto hridayena jata. Sarve mahiyang samamong sanabham. Aklishta buddhya bharatang bhajadvam. Shushushanang tad bharanang prajanam. Translation. My dear boys, you are all born of my heart, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Therefore you should not be like materialistic and envious men. You should accept your eldest brother Bharata, who is exalted in devotional service. If you engage yourselves in Bharata's service, your service to him will include my service, and you will rule the citizens automatically.
Tasmad bhavanta hridayena jata sarve mahiyang sambhavam sanapam akrishta vidya bharatang bhajadhyam sussusanam tat varanang prajana. So, Rishabdev was retiring from the duties of royal position, and before that he selected out of his 100 sons Bharat as the king, next king. Bharat Maharaj also very exalted. There is a long history of Bharat Maharaj. Under his name, this land or this earthly planet is called Bharatvarsh on account of Bharat Maharaj. This planet, the whole planet, was formerly known as Bharatvarsh. Before that, it was known as Ilavati Varsh. After the reign of Bharat Maharaj, it was named Bharatvarsha. So, the emperor of Bharatvarsha, of this ruling all over the world, even up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit. And this New Delhi, Hastinapur was the capital of the world. And there was only one flag, united. There was no need of hundreds of flags, United Nations. We have seen in New York, the United Nations organization, the flags are increasing, not under one flag. The culture is lost. In India also, the division, everywhere, the division is increasing. In Europe, there is only one city, that is also another state. Luxembourg. So, without this central point, certainly, gradually the division will increase, and in the name of nationalism, the strife and quarrel and fight will increase. Just like in India 20 years before or 30 years before, there was no Pakistan. Now they are divided, and already two big fights have been performed. So, this is the position that without Krishna consciousness, everyone will try to enjoy sense gratification independently, either individually, collectively, socially, economically, politically. Go on, dividing. There is no oneness, simply division. So Bharat Maharaj is advising his other sons, he had 100 sons, that Bharatang bhajadyam, to just be obedient to Bharat. Don't try to rule independently, because if you follow the principles of Bharat Maharaj, that will satisfy the citizens, not ruling over independently. We have practical examples. At the present moment, there are 3 dozen ministers, 4 dozen secretaries, and 2 dozen governors, and so on, so on. But there is no peace. There is no peace because they are missing the central point. The central point, Krishna. Krishna says, personally, he has come personally to inform us the real situation. He says, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. I am the proprietor of all planets. So accept this principle that Krishna is the proprietor and we are all sons of Krishna. Krishna claims, Krishna never says that I am Indian, I am Hindu, or I am Uttar Pradeshiya. No, he never says. He says, Sarvajonishu kaunteya sambhavanti murtaya tasang mahajjani brahma aham bija padapita. I am the father, not only of the human society, but I am the father of other forms of life. There are different forms of life, 8,400,000 forms of life. They are all sons of Krishna. It may be a small ant, or he may be exalted personality like Lord Brahma. Everyone. So, if we know the Krishna science, then we can understand it. This universal brotherhood, that we all in different forms of life, we are all sons of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Father. He says in another place, Mamaivangsha Jiva Bhuta, all the jivas, they are mine, part and just like the sun is part and parcel of the body of the Father. Similarly, we are also sons, everyone, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And if you are really advanced in knowledge, this Pandita Samadarishina, then you are actually Pandit. Not falsely to be called Pandit and number 1 fool. That is not Pandit. Pandita Samadarshina. The defect of the modern civilization is that there is no Pandit, all rascals. All rascals. Therefore, they have demarcated, this is India, this is America. No, everything belongs to Krishna. Then there will be peace. If in the United Nations they simply pass one resolution with determination that the whole planet belongs to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are all His sons. There is no trouble. There is no scarcity. Krishna has created this world in such a way that there is no question of starvation in any part of the world. There is no question. Sufficient, Purnamidam. There is no question of starvation. But because we have rebelled against the principle of universal brotherhood, We are all suffering. I have several times said that there are ample space. There is no question of scarcity. Ample space. I am traveling all over the world. So much space lying vacant in America, in Africa, Australia. Why the Chinese or the Indians should be congested, overpopulation? But they will not allow. It is my country. Have you got visa, immigration? Yes, I have got. All right, 3 months, then get out. This is right. Because they are rascals. They are falsely claiming this is my country, this is my property, nobody can come here. This is dog's philosophy. Just like the dogs, they have selected one neighborhood and 3, 4 dogs, they live peacefully. Not peacefully, they also fight among them. But if another dog comes, immediately the 4, 5 dogs will attack. Why you have come here? Why you have come here? Go. So this kind of so-called immigration department means dogs department. They are maintained for checking the human life. Why there should be immigration? We are all brothers. Why you should stop? It is my father's property, it is your father's property. India was like that. The foreigners took advantage of India's simplicity, magnanimity. They came here, the Mohammedans and the Christians, to exploit it. But India was very much magnanimous. Anyone who comes, yes, come here, learn Vedic literature. India's philosophy is Griham satram api praptam vishastam aputu bhayam. That is Indian philosophy. If the enemy comes to your place, you should receive him so nicely that he will forget that he is your enemy. That is India's philosophy. Griham satram api praptam. What to speak of friend? Even if you get your enemy, you shall receive him. That is India's hospitality. In the fight, we have got incidences in the history. There was fight, Kurus and the Pandavas. But in the evening time, they are friends. Evening time, there is no animosity. Just like Arjuna went to Duryodhana. Duryodhana criticized as grandfather. Grandfather is sometimes criticized by the grandsons. It is not an offense. You cannot criticize superiors, but between grandfather and grandchildren, the relation is different. The grandfather also criticizes the grandchildren. So, Duryodhana criticized Bhishma Dev. My dear grandfather, you have got affection for the Pandavas, that you are not fighting sincerely. You have been appointed the commander-in-chief, but out of your affection, you are neglecting your duty. Indirectly. So, old grandfather became a little angry. What do you want? No, you can finish them in one day. Why you are taking so much time? All right, I shall finish today, tomorrow. At least I shall finish Arjuna tomorrow. Either his intimate friend Krishna will have to break his promise or his friend will die. We'll see tomorrow. Because Krishna said, Arjuna, I am joining you, but I shall not fight. Do you want me? Still Arjuna said, yes, I want you. Don't fight. And Duryodhana saw Krishna divided, one side himself, another side his 18 Akhoyani military force. So Duryodhana thought that better let me take the forces. If Krishna does not fight, what shall I do with him? Better take his force. Duryodhana accepted the military force and Arjuna accepted Krishna with the promise that I shall not fight. So I shall become your chariot. So Arjuna, Krishna and Pitamaha, the grandfather, Bhishma, this is the scene. Bhishma has promised. Bhishma knew that Arjuna cannot be killed. I saw Duryodhana that I am not partial. He is not to be killed. Jishang Pakhi Janardana. Just Pandavutranam, Jishang Pakhi Janardana. Nobody can kill them. But this rascal is criticizing me, so I shall show tomorrow. So he made 5 weapons to kill the 5 brothers, and he said that I am keeping these 5 arrows to kill the 5 brothers tomorrow. Don't worry, sleep nicely. So Krishna could understand that this arrangement has been done. So Krishna reminded Arjuna that Duryodhana wanted to give you some benediction, being pleased upon you. Now you go there and take the 5 weapons from him. So my point is that how the fighting was in a sporting spirit. So Arjuna when came to the camp of Duryodhana well received him. Yes, my dear brother, come, what do you want? Why you have come? Now, you promised something to give me, I have come to take that. Yes, I will give you. If you want without fight the kingdom, take it immediately. You want that? No, I don't want that. Fighting must go on. That is not. I have not come to beg that. Listen, I have come to take the weapons which you have kept. Immediately deliver. He kept the safety for killing them, and because he has come to beg, a Kshatriya should not beg, but he is begging all right. This is India. This is India's civilization. And the next day, also, Bhishma fought so vigorously that Arjuna is going to be killed. His chariot broken, everything is torn. Then Krishna, you have seen the picture, then Krishna came with a broken wheel to kill Bhishma. And Bhishma immediately stopped. Yes, my now promise is fulfilled, because, my dear sir, you have broken your promise. You promised not to fight, not to now at the present moment to give protection to your friend. You have now broken. Yes. So Krishna can do that. Krishna, he can do everything to give protection to his friend and devotee. He can break his promise. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Koti apradijanihi nami bhakta pranasyati. He does not promise personally because he might sometimes break his promise. He is asking Arjuna, you promise, so that your promise will be kept always. I shall see to that. This is the philosophy. So, if we actually formulate peace formula, then everything is possible. Simply we have to accept the instruction of Krishna. Our Krishna consciousness movement is for this purpose. We are simply requesting to accept the Krishna philosophy. Then the whole world will be peaceful. There is no doubt about it. Bhoktaram jagatavasam sarvaloka maheswaram Sridam sarvabhutanam jnata mang shantimicchati. These rascals, their mentality is like the dog, and they are making United Nations. A dog can be united, is it possible? No. You bring several dozens of best dogs and ask them, please live peacefully. We shall give you food and with it. It is not in their capacity to live peacefully. See, even there is already ample economic development, sufficiency, but because the mentality is doggish, the so-called first of United Nations, they are fighting with one another. It is not possible. So without Krishna consciousness, everything will be failure. But therefore, Bharat Maharaj, Rishabhdev Maharaj is advising that you concentrate your service to Bharat, to a Brahmana. That bad time comes. You can come to the position of a Kshatriya or even up to Vaishya, but never to the position of a Shudra. This is dog's business. They at the present moment, everyone is being trained to become Shudra. Dogs. High education, big degrees, but the dog is not appointed by a master. His all qualification useless. Therefore it is dog is civilization. And Aryan civilization means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Shudra means one who cannot live independently. He has to depend on some master. He is a Shudra. The Brahmana should live by education, by knowledge. Everyone will honor them. They will give the advice to the Shudras, to the Kshatriyas. When Parsuram killed 21 times all the Kshatriyas, his father chastised him that this is not the business of a Brahmana. My dear son, you are so angry, you have killed all the Kshatriyas and you have killed Kartavijya by anger. You have done great sinful activities. It is not the business of the Brahmana. Therefore, you should return for some time and go to holy places to counteract your sinful activities. This was spoken to Parsuram by his father. So there must be division. A Brahmana can kill anyone simply by words. He is so powerful. But that he does not do that. When Vishwamitra was disturbed by Taraka Rakhusi in the forest, he came to Dasarath Maharaj for help. He could kill the Taraka Rakhusi simply by his word, but he did not do that. This is not Brahmana's business. He wanted to take the help of a Kshatriya and kill the Rakshasa. Kshatriya can kill. Brahmana can take charity. Kshatriya can exact taxes, and Vaishya be engaged in producing food grain. Kisi gorukshabanijam Vaishya karma sabhava. This is civilization. Aryan civilization means the division must be there. Krishna personally says, Chaturvarnam maya system, gunakarma, the varnashram must be there. But the whole aim is how to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to be satisfied. On account of our rebellious attitude towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are suffering in this material world. Just like any citizen rebellious to the laws of God and laws of the government, he is put into the prison house. Similarly, we are all sons and subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and when we become rebellious, what is God? What is Krishna? Vimura kartaham iti mannati. Prakita kriyamanani guni karmani sarva. Ahankara vimura. All these rascals who are godless, they are rebellious. They must suffer. The Prakriti is there. Prakriti kriyamanani guna. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogavancha kore. Pasete maya tare japotiya dhare. As soon as we become rebellious to Krishna, immediately Maya is there. Just like as soon as you become rebellious, the government laws, immediately you are under police custody. There are two things, government and the police. So you cannot escape. It is when you think that I can escape God's ruling, I can deny the existence of God, that is your foolishness, mura. Navana duskiduna mura pravadante norada. These rascals, they are not only sinful, but also lowest of the mankind, who denies the existence of God, godless. The so-called, so many parties, they want to improve by becoming godless. Among the scientists, it is a great sin to utter even the name of God. They will say, you are talking of God, you are not scientist. Is it not? Yes. Scientist means he must be godless. This is good. Therefore, we are making so much propaganda against these rascal scientists. We are presenting, they are putting this theory that life is born out of chemicals. We are putting the counter theory. No, life is born of life, never with chemicals. Our scientist students are writing the book, you know. So our proposition is anyone against the authority of God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we must strongly criticize him and take to task. This is our business. Just like Hanuman, Bajrang, he took very severely to punish Ravana. What was the fault? He was godless. He was against Rama. Therefore he took it very seriously and set fire to his beautiful kingdom, Lanka. Of course, Hanumanji never did it for his personal. They were monkeys, not even human beings. They did not want, the monkeys did not want such nice city, but for Ramchandra. Similarly, our principle should be that we can utilize everything, but not for our sense gratification, but for Krishna. That should be the motive of Krishna conscious people, and try to educate people to become Krishna conscious so that actually they become happy. Thank you very much.
Bhuteshu viruddhya uddhatamaye Sarisripasteshu sabodhanishta Tato manushyaha pramatastatopi Gandharva siddha vibudhanugaye Devasurebhyo magavat pradhana Shadayo brahma sutastutesha Bhavat parasota virincha virya Samat paroham dvija deva deva
Translation. Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, that is, vegetables, grass, trees, and plants, are superior to dull matter, or stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings, and superior to human beings are ghosts, because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras, and superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior, but Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas are best of all.
Viruddha what is that? Uduttamaje Sarishipasteshu sabodhanishcha tato manushya pramatha tatopi gandharva siddhya vibudhanugaje devasurebhya magavat pradhana Dukkadayo brahma sutastu tesam bhava parasota virincha bija samat paro aham dijadeva deva. So, Maharaj Rishabdev, analyzing the different grades of living entities. Bhuteshu, anything which is generated, janmadasya jata, everything is generated from Krishna, Parabrahma. Aham sarvasya prabhava. From Krishna, everything is generated, But according to consciousness, they are divided into two energies. The superior energy and the inferior energy. The more the consciousness is developed, one comes to the platform of superior energy. So, the dull stone, dull matter, they have no consciousness. But there is life. We learn from Brahma Samhita that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is within the atom. Atom is not that atom was not known, atomic energy was not known to the Vedic scholars. Annantarastham paramanuchayantarastham govindamabhibhujam anoraniyam mahato mahiyam. The Supreme Lord can enter even within the atom. They are studying, modern scientists, the atomic energy, but still that perplexed. It's smaller than proton, electron and so on. Still. So there is life even within the atom. But the scientists, because they are a materialistic person, they cannot understand where from the energy, the life energy is emanated. Otherwise, the life energy is there even within the atom. So, the life energy begins viruddha. The plants, the grass, there is life symptom. Gradually, there are different grades. Jalajanam lakhani, stavara rakha vinshati, klimayo rudra sankhaka, pakshinam dasa lakhakam. In this way, this is evolutionary growth, one after another. The evolution takes place. Evolution means gradual evolution or manifestation of consciousness. That is evolution. So, the atheist class of men, because they cannot understand that there is soul, they cannot understand that evolution means evolution of consciousness. They do not understand. They are thinking that originally the matter, there was no life, all of a sudden the life came. No. Life is completely different from the matter. Not completely different. It is the same energy from the Supreme Lord. The one is developed, the other is not developed. In this way, as Brahma has defined, Matparo aham dvijadeva deva. So, in this way, within this material world, there are varieties of developed consciousness, and in the spiritual world, when he surpasses, transcends the material world, parastasmat bhava anya, when we are promoted to the other energy, other world, then our consciousness, even when one is transmitted to the spiritual world, the first is Brahma Jyoti, their consciousness is also not developed. Even one has gone to the spiritual world where everything is spiritual. Arujya krichena parang padang tata patanti adha anadjajusmadanghaya. That means consciousness is fully developed when he is a devotee. When one adores the lotus feet of the Lord. Jismat angraya. So, those who are promoted even to the Brahma Jyoti, they are also not fully conscious. Fully conscious means a devotee. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma. That is full consciousness. Without this consciousness, Krishna consciousness, there is no question of full-fledged. It's like a small bud of a flower. First of all, the seed grows, then the buds come out, then gradually the buds develop, it becomes flower, then full-fledged power, then fragrance, beauty, everything is developed. That is real development. Similarly, this is the process of development. When one comes to Krishna consciousness, then it is full-fledged flower with fragrance, beauty and everything. That is the perfection. So, there are so many descriptions of different types of living entities within this material world, but these so-called scientists, on account of their being Buddha or askins, they are studying that except in this planet, everywhere there is dust and rocks. This is their foolishness. No. Here it is stated that Siddhya, tato manushya pramatha satopi gandharva siddhya. You see development. Siddha means those who have got yogic, mystic power. Siddhi, Ashtasiddhi, Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Prapti, Sita, Vasita. These are called Siddhis. And nowadays so-called yogis, they show some gymnastics. That is not Siddhi. Siddhi is different thing. One can become smaller than the smallest. That is called anima. One can become bigger than the biggest. Just like Hanumanji, he jumped over the sea. He jumped over the sea. This is Mahima Siddhi. One can become as big as required. Just like there is water, a grown-up man can cross water by jumping, but a small child cannot do. So, proportionately, if you increase your body by the Mahima Siddhi, you can jump over this thing. That is possible. So these are called Siddhas. We have got description in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the Siddha Loka. There the people can go from one planet to another in this body. That is called Siddhi. Here we are trying to go to other planet with the machine and still we are failure. But in the Siddha Loka, they can go very easily from one planet to another with this body. They are Siddhas. So these descriptions are there. There are Gandharva Lokas, Kindana Lokas, and the topmost is a Brahma Loka, where Lord Brahma lives, and other persons, many, everywhere. Not that simply the chief man lives, his assistant, his paraphernalia, everything is there. Just like we understand from Bhagavad Gita, imang vivassate yugam praptavan hamamayam. So vivassate, vivassan is the sun god. The sun god, Krishna, instructed him this Bhagavad Gita. He says personally, imam vivassati yugam praktaman. So do not think that simply there is sun. No. There are, it is a very, very big planet, 1,400,000 times bigger than this planet. But don't think that there is vacant. No. We get information from Bhagavad Gita that every planet is full of living entities. It is not vacant. But they have got different types of bodies. It is not vacant. Different types of bodies. In Brahma Samhita we understand Jasaprabha Prabhavatu Jagadanna Koti Kotishu Asesha Vibhuti Bhinnam. Asesha Vasudha Vibhuti Bhinnam. There are in each universe, within the Brahma Jyoti, there are innumerable Brahmandas, universes. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was requested by one of his devotees, my Lord, you have come here to deliver the fallen souls, so kindly take them with you, and if you think that they are sinful, they cannot go with me back to home, back to Godhead. So you kindly transfer all their sinful life to me. I shall suffer here, let them go with you. This is Vaishnava. Paradukha dukhi. Vaishnava can accept all kinds of sufferings provided others are benefited. This is Vaishnava. Paradukha dukhi. This is the sample of Vaishnava. He is requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my Lord, you have come to deliver the fallen souls. In the material world, everyone is fallen. So you take them. And if you think they are so sinful they cannot go, then transfer their sins to me. I shall continue to suffer many lives but you take. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased by his statement. So he replied also. He said, suppose the whole universe I take with me, then what is the loss in this material world? There are millions of universes. He compared that in a bag of mustard, if I take out one mustard, then what is the loss there? So similarly, Krishna's creation, God's creation is unlimited. That they do not understand. They are the frogs in the well. They are thinking, Kupamandu karne. Everyone is thinking, the Kupamandu is thinking that this is the whole water. Within this well, this 3 feet span of water, that is final. And if you say to the Kupamandu, I have seen another vast water, Atlantic Ocean, he cannot imagine. So these rascals, those who are unaware of the potency of God, they think that God may be like me. I am so little powerful, he may be little more powerful. Therefore they cannot understand what is God, because they are thinking in their own terms. And somebody is thinking that I am God. So this misconception should be given up. He is anoraniyanga mahato mahiya. Manushya, these are gradual. Pramatha, they are also living entities. We have heard some of them about the ghost. They have no material body. The advantage of material body, they are covered with mind, intelligence and ego. But their gross body, earth, water, air, fire, that is not there. So, one king, he also rejected the material body and remained Videha, the Videha king. So one can remain like that, without this gross body and subtle body, material, just like in the Vaikuntha Loka, that is. But in the material world, when one is not covered by the gross body, but subtle body, they are called ghosts or pramatha. Those who are good, not harmful, they are called pramathas. And those who are harmful, as in this material world, there are good men and bad men. Similarly, amongst the persons who has no this gross body, they are sometimes called ghosts and sometimes they are called pramatha. So in this way, varieties of life, beginning from the insect and the aquatic animal up to the point of Lord Brahma, but they are all within this material world. It does not mean because the Gandharvas, Siddhas, they have got higher standard of life and power, hundreds and thousands times more than our power. Do not think that they are liberated persons. They are not liberated persons. They are all conditioned souls. Abrahma bhavana loka punaravartina arjuna. All these conditioned souls, according to karma, they are getting different types of body. One has got the body of an ant, and one has got the body of Brahma, Lord Brahma. But that is not our aim. Our aim is how to avoid this material body. For that purpose, Krishna consciousness. Not that I have got now the body of an ant, let me get the body of Brahma or Indra or in a Siddha Loka. This is not gain. Therefore, those who are devotees, they do not care either for Brahma or for the ant. They do not care. Kaivalyaga narakayate tidasapura akasa puspayate vidimayandraadischa kichayate. For a devotee, Vidhi means Lord Brahma, and Mahendra means this Bhagavat, here it is said, means Indra. So for a devotee, they treat equally either Brahma or Indra Kitavat, just like an ant, because they know that he may be Brahma, he may be Indra, but he has got this material body. As a small insect, it has got material body. Kaivalyaga narakayate tidasapura akasa puspayate duddanta indriya kala satpapatali putkhata dangstrayate vidimayandraadischa kichayate. Purnam sukhayate, vishang purnam sukhayate, jat karana katakha vaivavatam gauramevastama. This is a verse by Prabhupada Saraswati. He gives his opinion that if one is favored by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, jat katakha vaivavatam, I am offering my respectful obeisances to Lord Chaitanya because a little glance of his mercy creates this situation. What is that? Kaivalyaga narakayate. The people are very anxious to merge into Kaivalya, Brahmajyoti, only spirit. So for them, that Kaivalya is Narak, hell. Kaivalyam Narakaya. And Tidasapura Akasa Puspaya. Tidasapura means the heavenly planets, where the demigods, as it is described, the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Siddhas, they live. They are like flowers in the sky, will of the will. No factual happiness. Kaivalyaga narakayate tidasapura akasa puspaya. And duddanta indriya kala satpapatali prutkhata damastrayat. And indriya sanjama, the yogis, they are trying to control the senses. Yoga indriya sanjama, that is the real purpose. Our indriyas are so disturbing. Just like kala satpa. You are sitting here, if one snake comes immediately, you will be all disturbed. Immediately. So, it's disturbing why? Because every one of us will know here is a kala satpa. Kala satpa means anyone it bites, immediately death. Immediately death. But this kala satpa is dreadful, vicious, so long the fangs are there. The prutkhata damastrayate. The fangs, the poison fangs are taken away. If you know, here is a snake, but the snake's fangs have been taken away, you will not be afraid. Vishayancham. Vishayancham. So, for a devotee, this kala satpa patali automatically subdued because they do not use the senses for sense gratification. They are engaged in the service of Krishna. If our senses are engaged in the service of Krishna, then the poisonous fangs are taken away. It is no more dreadful. There is no need of practicing Indriya Samyama. Indriya Samyama automatically. When he is Krishna conscious, he is not disturbed. Just like Haridas Thakur. He did not go to control the senses, but because he was chanting, he practiced chanting. A beautiful prostitute at dead of night offered her body to be enjoyed. He said, "Yes, I shall satisfy you. Please sit down. Let me finish my chant." This is Kala Sattva Padali, Patkha Namaskar. He was not even agitated. This is the benefit of becoming a favorite servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you very much.